Welcome back, friends. This is Sachin from Team Decipher, and today we'll be discussing about Gandhara, Mathura, and Amravati School of Art. Okay. These three prominent schools of art and sculptures developed in the period, and they developed at three different reasons. These reasons were Gandhara, Mathura, and Amravati. Just a moment. The slide is running automatically. I'm sorry. Okay. The points were, as I told you earlier, Gandhara, Mathura, and Amravati. First of all, we'll look about the Gandhara School of Art. Gandhara was situated in ancient times near about the Pakistan and Swat Valley border. As you can see, there is Swat Valley. This was Peshawar in Pakistan. Purushpur, it was the ancient name of Peshawar, Purushpur, the city of man. And this is the location of ancient Gandhara. To understand the Greek influence on Gandhara School of Art, we have to understand that Gandhara, which was an ancient term for the city and old kingdom of Peshawar, which I told you, it is encompassed by the Swat Valley and the Potahar Plateau region of Pakistan. What happened? Greek invaders brought with them the tradition of Greek and Roman sculptures. Okay. Now we have to understand and we have to clear the confusion amongst Greek and Romans. As you may recall that there was also a question in mains, IAS mains, civil services mains, about the Greek and Roman art and their influence upon the Gandhara art. The question was twisted as such that Gandhara art owns its origin to Greek as well as Romans. So we have to understand the basic difference between two, because first of all, understand Greek and Romans, they are two different city states, whereas Rome was a part of Italy and this was Greek, okay, which was separated by the Mediterranean arm, Iranian arm of Mediterranean Sea. Both these cultures, they have long been connected due to the similarities between the temples and other structures. Both cultures had temples and other structures which were very similar in nature to each other. The Roman architecture was highly influenced by the Greek architecture. And why Roman was influenced by Greek? Simple reason, Greek civilization was much older civilization than the Roman civilization. But Romans also diverged to create a separate identity. They both used columns, but they had their own column preferences. They had their own preference of materials and the peculiar use of arc in a different manner. First of all, we will talk about columns. Both cultures use three different columns in the temple building. And the Doric, as you can see, Doric is a thick and with very little decoration. The Ionic column is thinner and slightly more ornate column, as you can see in this part. And Corinthian column, it's very highly ornate column, and that is decorated both at top and bottom with intricate designs and artwork. You just see the upper part of this column and the lower part and compare it with the previous two columns. This is the most simple, this is the moderate one, and this is highly decorated columns. Now, the column preference were, as I told you earlier, were also different for both cultures. Greeks tended to favor the less ornated Doric column, this one. Whereas Romans, they were highly stylish, they used the Corinthian column. Even the Parthenian dedicated to goddess Athena is an example of the Greeks' use of Doric columns, and Roman architecture preferred the Corinthian column and can be seen in the Pantheon. Okay, material use. The material used to construct temple was very different for Greek and Roman architecture. Both of them used different things. What was that? Greeks used marble and granite to construct its temple, whereas Romans, they extensively used the arc in design, and they were able to use lesser material in the building temples. What happened? While columns and ornate pieces of buildings, they were built in marble, the building itself would be constructed of brick and concrete. What Roman people did, like this is the wall of the entire building, they are making it by using brick, fine, and the ornated portion like the pillars and other statues, they were made by marbles and columns. So that is how they were more efficient in building making art. Okay, the arc, the last point we need to discuss. Greeks, what they do, they tended to support the roof of their building with a post and lintel system. What is post and lintel system? What happens? This is the first beam, this is the second beam, and these two beams support a third beam. This is we call post and lintel system. Two beams hold up a third horizontal beam. These are vertical, this one is the horizontal beam. But Romans, they perfected the use of arc. What they did, as we see even in our Indian architecture, the use of arc, the Romans perfected that in way back in the ancient times. It also added the decorative effects, and it was much stronger than the traditional post and lintel system. As you can see, this, for example, if we are using this structure for the gateway and this structure for the gateway, you can automatically say, yes, this is more beautiful and this is more stronger and having much strength. The arc was important to the Romans aqueducts that supplied water to Rome over the long distances. Okay, now coming back to the Gandhara School of Art. This school of art flourished in two stages, that is from 50 BC to 500 AD. While the former school, it was known for its use of bluish grey sandstone. Here you can see the bluish grey sandstone in which the Buddha's sculpture is made, and later this is the example of earlier Gandhara art, and this is the example of later Gandhara art. In later period, what they did, they used mud and stucco for the making of sculpture. Second, the images of Buddha and Bodhisattvas were based on Greco-Roman pantheon and resemble that of Apollo. Look at these two sculptures. This is Apollo. This is our revered Buddha. Now, look at their faces. Aren't they resembling? Even the sort of and the design of hairs, curly, both are curly. Even the droplets on the clothes, the wrinkles on cloth. Okay. Now, the Mathura School of Art is the second point of discussion in our today's lecture. It flourished on the bank of river Yamuna in the period between first century BC to 3rd century BC. The sculpture of this school were influenced by all the three religions of that time, Buddhism, Jainism and Hinduism. Both were, three of them were prevalent in those times. Whereas the previous Gandhara school, you can see the prominence of Buddhism in this school of art. Well, one of the striking feature of Mathura School of Art is the symbolism in images. Now, what is the symbolism in images? You can see in this picture, the Shiva is, for example, is depicted by Linga, the simple Lingam, and by Mukha Lingam. Okay? And the halo around the head of Buddha, it is much larger than the Gandhara school. You can see the halo over there, and it was decorated by the geometric patterns. Are you able to see them? There. Okay. Now Buddha is shown to be surrounded by two bodhisattvas. This is Padampani. I'll tell you why they were named as such. This is Vajrapani. Vajra means Indra's Vajra is a thunderbolt, and Padam means lotus, and Pani means, Pani is the actual word, the Sanskrit origin, that means hand. So one who is having lotus in his hands is called Padam Pani, and the one who is having thunderbolt in his hand is called Vajrapani. This is the thunderbolt, Vajrapani. This is the lotus, Kamal, Padam Pani. Okay. Now coming back to the no, not coming back, moving towards Amravati School of Art. This art flourished in the southern part of India, and Amravati school developed on the banks of Krishna river. Just remember the locational facts I am telling you about these arts, because you never know when UPSC can intermingle geography with history and history and geography together with environment. Okay, so moving on, it was under the patronage of Satvahana rulers, because they may ask you the era and the ruler of those times. Okay. While other two schools focused on the single images, like we saw in later slides, Buddha was shown alone, and Zada se Zada only Vajrapani and Padampani was shown, but that too in static manner. But what happened in this school, Amravati school put more emphasis on the use of dynamic images and narrative art. Now what the hell is this dynamic and narrative art? Okay. Dynamic is something which shows postures as if the sculpture is in a movement, and narrative means as if the sculptures want to narrate a story. As you can see in this sculpture itself, the main deity is standing in the Tribhanga position, even this pretty lady over there, and they all are surrounding this deity, and as if this is symbolizing some sort of story which is going on. The sculpture is trying to depicting the story, whatever it is going on. That is what called the narrative sort of art. Okay, now we are done in as far as these little description or deep discussion, whatever you may call it, is concerned with Amravati school and the Gandhara school and the Mathura school. But mind it, we are not yet finished with the differences between them. Okay, in next lecture we will talk about the main differences between these three schools, which is quite important. UPSC and other examinations, they keep on asking such differences. It is quite important from an examination point of view. Till then, keep watching and do visit our website, that is www.decipheries.com, and do like us on the Facebook and the given Facebook page. You can search our Facebook page by decipheries.com. Till then, thank you, bye bye, and take good care of yourself. Thank you.